Welcome, viewer, to tonight's Sinister Shadows, a trio of terrifying tales. Venture into the world of sinister horror stories where shadows whisper and ancient curses bind the living. This realm thrives on the unexplained and the unnerving, inviting you to uncover secrets that lurk in the darkness. Here, every whisper could be the last, and every shadow hides a story worth telling. In a quiet town where life moves at a leisurely pace, an unsettling phenomenon plagues the residents as soon as the sun sets. Whispers, soft and sinister, fill the air, originating from no discernible source. These whispers wrap around the town in a chilling embrace, leaving its inhabitants in fearful anticipation of nightfall. The protagonist, a newcomer intrigued by the town's peculiar reputation, encounters an eerie figure one evening. This whispering shadow, barely visible yet palpably present, communicates in hushed tones that chill to the bone. This encounter marks the beginning of an unnerving journey into the heart of the town's darkness. The protagonist's curiosity leads to the discovery of an ancient curse that has ensnared the town for generations. This curse, woven into the very fabric of the town's history, is revealed to be the source of the nightly whispers. It is a legacy of darkness that has claimed many before and threatens to claim more. Determined to uncover the origins of this curse, the protagonist delves into the town's archives. Through dusty tomes and forgotten lore, they piece together the story of a pact gone horribly wrong. This research unveils the curse's roots, entwined with the town's founding, offering the first glimpse of hope in breaking its hold. In the heart of the night, the protagonists lay awake, the whispers of shadows dancing through the room. They spoke secrets, ancient and terrifying, a cacophony of voices that seemed to seep from the very walls. Each whisper revealed a piece of the town's cursed past, ensnaring the protagonist deeper into the mystery. Fueled by a mix of fear and determination, the protagonist set out to confront the source of the whispers. The plan was simple, yet perilous: to face the shadow entity head-on. With every step towards the entity's lair, the whispers grew louder, an eerie chorus guiding the way. As the night deepened, preparations for the confrontation became a race against time. The protagonist gathered every piece of lore, every protective talisman spoken of in hushed tones. The air crackled with anticipation. The shadows seemed to watch, waiting for the moment to strike. The face-off with the shadow entity was chilling. It emerged from the darkness, a formless figure that whispered of doom. The protagonist, armed with knowledge and courage, stood firm. The battle of wills was intense, each word a strike, every silence a defense. The air shimmered with unseen forces clashing. A narrow escape from the shadow's grasp marked the confrontation's climax. The protagonist, heart-pounding, fled the scene, the whispers fading but still echoing in the mind. The encounter left more questions than answers, a reminder of the thin veil between the known and the unknown. In the aftermath of the protagonist's daring confrontation with the shadow entity, the town's reaction was a mix of disbelief and awe. Whispers of the night's events spread like wildfire, casting the protagonist in a new light. Some hailed their bravery, while others doubted the veracity of their tale, skeptical of the ancient curse's reality. The twist in the tale came when the curse's true nature was revealed. It wasn't just an ancient spell, but a manifestation of the town's collective guilt and secrets. This revelation shook the very foundations of the community, forcing them to confront their hidden pasts and the darkness within themselves. Transitioning from the shadowy grips of the whispering shadows, the narrative introduces the forgotten room. The discovery of a hidden room in an old house piqued the curiosity of a new protagonist, setting the stage for another chilling adventure. The room, sealed away and forgotten, held an air of mystery begging to be unraveled. Within the confines of the forgotten room, unsettling relics were found, each carrying echoes of the past. Dusty photographs with faces barely recognizable, letters written in hurried scrawls, and objects that seemed to possess an eerie life of their own. These relics hinted at stories untold, tragedies forgotten, and a history shrouded in darkness. The protagonist, driven by an insatiable curiosity, embarked on an investigation into the room's past. Each clue uncovered led them deeper into a web of mystery and horror. The room, once a silent witness to the events of yesteryear, began to reveal its secrets, setting the stage for ghostly encounters and the unraveling of a tragic event tied to its existence. In the Forgotten Room, a collection of unsettling relics awaited, each with a story shrouded in darkness. The protagonist, driven by curiosity, began to piece together the room's past, uncovering layers of dust-covered secrets that seemed almost eager to be discovered. The investigation into the room's history led to encounters with ghostly presences, whose appearances were as brief as they were terrifying. These spirits, bound to the relics within the room, whispered of a tragic event, a tale of love lost and a life taken too soon, casting a shadow over the room's existence. As the protagonist delved deeper, the mystery of the room's tragic past began to unravel. Disturbing visions of the room's horrors played out like scenes from a forgotten play, revealing a story of betrayal and vengeance that had led to the room's ceiling. Determined to cleanse the room of its haunting, the protagonist embarked on a perilous attempt to confront the spirits. This battle, both physical and spiritual, demanded every ounce of courage as the room seemed to come alive, fighting back against the intrusion into its tormented history. In the end, a hidden truth emerged from beneath the horror, shedding light on the room's dark past. The protagonist's emotional confrontation with this truth brought a sense of closure, yet the room's shadows lingered, suggesting some mysteries are better left undisturbed, forever entwined with the fabric of the house. In their quest to cleanse the Forgotten Room, the protagonist embarks on a ritual, unaware of the spiritual tempest that awaits. The air thickens, objects begin to rattle, and an otherworldly chill envelops the room. The protagonist stands firm, reciting incantations with a trembling voice, hoping to break the room's curse. As the ritual intensifies, the protagonist faces the wrath of the spirits haunting the room. Shadows dance wildly on the walls, and anguished wails fill the air. Despite the fear gripping their heart, the protagonist persists, driven by a desperate need to restore peace to the tormented space. Amidst the chaos, the protagonist uncovers a hidden truth, a tragic tale of love and betrayal that led to the room's haunting. This revelation sheds new light on the spirit's unrest, offering a glimmer of hope for reconciliation. The protagonist realizes that understanding and empathy might be the key to liberation. With renewed determination, the protagonist confronts the spirits, not with spells or charms, but with heartfelt pleas for forgiveness and healing. It's a moment of emotional vulnerability, bridging the gap between the living and the dead. The air lightens, a sign that the spirits are listening, perhaps even forgiving. The ritual concludes with the room's atmosphere clearing, but a lingering sense of unease remains. The protagonist reflects on the ordeal, pondering the complex nature of forgotten memories and regrets. They realize that some scars may never fully heal, leaving a haunting reminder of the past's enduring impact. In the dead of night, an anonymous call shatters the silence, leaving the protagonist with a chilling sense of dread. The voice on the other end is a whisper, a cold breath of air that speaks of unspeakable things, urging the protagonist to uncover the truth behind these midnight disturbances. Driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, the protagonist embarks on a quest to trace the origin of the calls. Unraveling this mystery becomes an obsession, as more reports of similar chilling calls surface. The community's unease grows, with each account adding to the tapestry of terror that blankets the area. The investigation leads to an abandoned location rumored to be cursed and avoided by the locals. The protagonist, armed only with determination and a flashlight, steps into the darkness. The air is thick with the weight of untold stories, and the silence is broken only by the protagonist's footsteps and the distant sound of a phone ringing. As the phone's eerie ring echoes through the abandoned halls, the protagonist finally encounters the source of the calls. The reality of the situation is more terrifying than any ghost story, a tangible darkness that feeds on fear and sorrow. It's an entity not of this world, yet bound to it by a dark history. The protagonist uncovers a grim secret tied to the midnight calls, a revelation that brings more questions than answers. The truth is a mosaic of tragedy, a story of loss and despair that has transcended time. It's a haunting reminder that some mysteries are better left unsolved, yet the protagonist cannot turn away from this spectral enigma. In the darkness of night, the protagonist laid out their plan with trembling hands. The discovery of a dark secret linked to the midnight calls had ignited a fire within them. Determined to end the nightmarish phone calls that had terrorized the town, they traced the calls to an eerie, abandoned location, the heart of the mystery. With every step towards the abandoned site, the air grew colder, and the night whispered warnings. The protagonist, driven by a mix of fear and resolve, prepared for a confrontation that they hoped would end the terror. The silence of the night was a stark contrast to the chaos brewing within them. The showdown with the sinister caller was nothing short of heart-stopping. In the abandoned building, shadows danced as if alive, and the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. The protagonist faced the source of the calls, their heart pounding in their chest as the true nature of the horror before them was revealed. The revelation of the caller's true identity was a shock to the protagonist. The face behind the terror was one they never expected, a twist that chilled them to the bone. The confrontation brought forth not just a battle of wills, but a clash with a deeply buried truth. With the sinister caller confronted, the protagonist felt a wave of relief wash over them. The nightmare that had held the town in its grip seemed to be over, but the encounter left scars that ran deep. The relief was palpable, yet the shadows of the night whispered doubts, suggesting the horror might not be truly gone. As the dust settled after the harrowing showdown, the protagonist stood in the eerie silence, grappling with the revelation of the midnight caller's true identity. It was someone they'd never suspected, a revelation that turned their understanding on its head. The shock was palpable, leaving them to question the very fabric of their reality. In the aftermath, the protagonist felt a wave of relief wash over them. The nightmare that had haunted their nights, the sinister calls that had driven them to the brink, had finally ceased. Yet this relief was tinged with a haunting realization of how close evil had lurked, hidden in plain sight. But just as peace seemed to return, a twisted ending unfurled. A single chilling call in the dead of night suggested the horror was far from over. This revelation sent a shiver down the protagonist's spine, a stark reminder that some terrors refuse to be silenced. Reflecting on the journey, it becomes clear that horror, much like the shadows that dance at the edge of our vision, is a reflection of the human psyche. It whispers to us of the fears we bury deep, the darkness we dare not face, and the resilience it takes to confront them. This brings us to the end of our trilogy for this evening. We hope you have enjoyed our cautionary tales. If you would like to see more of our horror stories, please like and subscribe to our channel to enjoy more terror tales. For now, sleep well, viewer, and we hope to see you next time.